Good morning, everyone. Jesse Webb, TradersPro. Let's talk about a couple of things today that are both bullish and bearish. We'll start here with on the directional alerts page. Again, this is our top-down approach. It's a very slow-moving indicator, very slow-moving perspective, and that's what we look for in a top-down approach, and that is what is the overall direction of the market going. In this case, we've got this bearish sell signal back here in May, and we've just been continuing with that overall downtrend. So as we're entering into perspective and bias, then we want to be able to say what direction should we be focusing on, or how do we need to be able to manage our risk according to the current market conditions. Current market conditions are bearish, and they're just not very good, so it's a little bit tougher to trade. A lot of stocks are not having follow through or continuations. Part of that is just because the overall market trend is down, so we need to be able to manage that perspective, starting with that top-down approach. That being said, we've been in this state now for quite some time, and we're starting to bottom out and starting to move back up. So we're seeing this change on the directional alerts here. This bear market negative 15. If you recall, a few weeks ago it was all the way down to negative 20. And if you notice here, historically, it only goes to about negative 5, maybe negative 10. So pretty significant steep sell-off, really outside of the norms, at least on the parameters of this indicator. But that could be a basing process here, and we've talked about that. In the shorter term, though, we've got some bearishness where we've got this trend line that's coming into play. We're up on the upper range on almost all of these indicators. Momentum is starting to slide and almost back into this kind of this trendless zone, which is what we want to see on a bit of a pullback. But sometimes as that's starting to develop, it turns even worse. So these are kind of the early signs that something in this current trend potentially is breaking or at least weakening, and we're starting to see that here. So momentum sliding, we definitely see breadth and sentiment still good, and that also is a little bit concerning in terms of a shorter term top, because we typically see that blue line, that sentiment right at the top, followed by breadth, followed by momentum on the upside. Again, not always, but those are some things to be looking for currently in this long-term trend. We talked about the buy-sell ratio yesterday and some of the things to look for. This is also still just kind of flat to slightly bullish. So I don't think you're getting a lot of wholesale selling like we were in the past, particularly with a lot of the numbers that have come out recently. We may be just seeing, again, that stealth accumulation where people are starting to come back into the market, but it feels very kind of corrective, kind of counter trend to the downtrend. So just be cautious of this if you start to see some real aggressive sliding. On the S&P yesterday, we did see we're on this downtrend, so we've shifted down. We were already in a long-term downtrend. Now that short-term trend is moving down. It's just about to tick back over here into this hold. So just not super constructive. It needs to hold right here. It needs to confirm about that 50% of retracement on that bar right there. Otherwise, we may start to see some of these shorter-term trends working, and maybe they may actually be in charge, and this turns out to be a counter trend move with more downside to come. That's obviously yet to be seen, but a few of those signs are starting to develop that you want to be aware of. One of the other things I wanted to go through quickly is on the index page. We've talked about this on and off over the last few months as well, where you have stocks that are moving. This is the Dow Jones Industrials particularly, back from buy back to the hold. So when we're starting to see of 30 stocks, you're starting to see some of those move back from that strong uptrend back to that hold. That also is something to be paying attention to. And if we click on this and look to see, we've got Caterpillar, and here's what that looks like. We've been in this good strong uptrend, and now it's just consolidating, correcting, not doing anything. And that's not concerning at this point unless we were to really start to break that down. So it's yellow for a reason. It's yellow just because it's a little bit of a pause. If you don't own it, don't buy it. If you own it, don't sell it. Sorry, I got this cough this morning. I can't seem to get rid of that. We'll finish up here. But those are some things to be looking for in terms of market direction. Still constructive in the overall uptrend, and just a lot of these, these Dow stocks look like this. They're uptrending. It was a very strong rally, and now we're just consolidating. And that's what we want to see. We just don't want to see much more to the downside. We want to see stocks holding here and potentially start to work their way back up again. If you don't have full access to the Traders Pro site, go ahead and click the link below and get signed up, and we look forward to having you. Have a great day today.